and its Bahamians aren't prepared to stand up and fight and defend their own Bahamas, then you don't deserve to have it.
Now let that sink in. Come on. Change ain't coming, change is here. You can hear it, you can feel it in the air. All politicians, put your hands in the air. This is stick up, let me make myself clear. I'm a grown man talking, so you know what to do. No one's leaving till we figure out the truth. Why you laughing? This ain't nothing funny. So no one gets to go home till we figure out this money. Change ain't coming, change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, nigga, change is here. Now if you ain't standing with us, then I know you against us. Bahamas, this ain't no time for us to be lukewarm. This is war, and we riding through the storm. Come on. Let's go. Shalom to all my Hebrew brothers, to all my Muslim and Rastas, we need you, brother. I see, I know. I can't forget the Christians. Let's put our differences aside, cause it's a bigger mission. See, they've been doing this for years, trying to separate us, kinda trying to keep us down and never elevate us. Now it's time to praise the Lord, cause he's about to take us over to the promised land where we can celebrate us. I got to do it for my kids that ain't even born yet, so the minute that they born, they already gotta check that check. Gotta have that time to collect, so they won't know how it feels to have that yoke around their neck. Yeah. See, y'all been robbing my grandmother, my great-great-grandmother and grandfather. It's like y'all can't get enough. Y'all just keep eating and giving us nothing but taxes. Y'all went even as far as to say that this country's in debt and we ain't got no money. But 9 times out of 10, everybody in this country's possibly a millionaire. It's time to wake up. Let's talk about natural resources, cause every time we bring it up, they say hold your horses. They say it ain't worth a thing, but it's worth a fortune. Meanwhile, they open up their businesses across the borders. Oh yes, we track their bank accounts across the waters. They say this country in debt, but they making millions. If we don't stop this now, they be up to billions. It's about to go down and I get the feeling we gotta cut a movie on these dirty villains. On this Lincoln Bain and his team came with information. It's like everything changed, everything went quiet. It's like so much facts and they can't deny it. They rather keep their mouths shut before they start a riot. Now look how they tryna just steal the oil. They don't wanna share with none of y'all. They been robbing us while we were sleeping. Send them to jail cause they failed, they committed treason. Change ain't coming. They say change ain't coming. The change is here. They say change ain't coming. The change is here. They say change ain't coming. Nigga, change is here. Listen, from Freeport to Nassau all the way to Nagua, there's no more time for us to sit back and be quiet. You understand? This is war. If they only knew who we were, if they only know who we are, they would know we are warriors. No retreat, no surrender. Just give us what you owe us. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. I feel this all the way to my ancestors. We are warriors. We only really want what's owed to us. You get it? Now free up.
Father God, it's me again. Father God, it's me, your son again. Father, I know them a blow breath in a man. Warm today, Janus style. Go this side. Father God, I make them fight me so hard. I lucky things to me no coward. A lucky thing me put me trust in the Lord. Them want me for dead inna the mag like dog. No make the hope ya work and them get no reward. No make them get no reward. No make the hope ya work and them get no reward. No. Just see them sit down and a fight against me thing. Me laugh. I see him where Judas and him friend them did fight against the king. Read the Psalms and realize I know nobody them. Them a try set me up with this body them. Successful life that I bother them. Power up and kill the snake pan the ladder them. Father God I make them fighting so hard. A lucky things to me no coward. A lucky thing me put me trust in the Lord. Them want me for dead in the mag like dog. No make do up your work cause them get no reward. No make them get no reward. No make do up your work cause them get no reward. Yeah. Everybody know I see a gully man from I fi make it out. So gully man done. Them a put me in a dark, make me holy lantern. From the gully woodhouse to me holy mansion. Can't take the visa, them can't do no sanction. Now everywhere me go I stand innovation. Jaja Pitney never lose in no occasion. Them know me, the new innovation. Hey, Father God I make them fight me so hard. Lucky things say me no coward. A lucky thing me put me trust in the Lord. Father God no.
Yeah, but you see, that's what you saying, Ricardo. You understand me? That's the bullshit you saying, right? But watch here. I just walk out of my bedroom and walk into my hallway to go to my kitchen to get a drink of lemonade. And guess what? You know what's filled? My house is filled with right now? Huh? Let me tell you. And I can be explicit. Fucking soot from the fucking coal kilns that burning in the motherfucking night, Ricardo. Okay? And that's how I rate. You always make the Bahamian people talking shit and garbage and nonsense. You see what you stay here? And let me tell you how fucking stupid you sound. Okay? Say, I stand with my people. This is my country. And law and order is what I stand for. No one has the right to take possession of anything that they did not lawfully obtain. You talking fuck! They've been taking possession for more than 50 years of our land and building houses illegally and living here illegally and coming here illegally, and not a motherfucker raised a finger to them, bro. We spend, hey, you know me, hundreds of $1,000s every year we fucking spend to send them motherfuckers back home. Huh? I'm sorry I have to speak like this, but it's look like this the only language people like you understand, boy. Huh? Y'all don't get it right and y'all don't fucking don't understand. Y'all don't hear the truth. You see, y'all sit back with your little fucking smooth fucking talk, right? But the reality of things is this. You understand me? Because it ain't fucking you. You understand me? You can sit here and talk shit. Huh? Wait, listen to me here and listen to me very carefully. Alright? Tell them to go wait for their own fucking property. Tell them to go to their country and fucking build their houses there. Tell them to go to their country, you understand me, and raise their children there. Okay? Tell them build up their own country. Don't come and circumvent and misdirect the directive to make it seem like, oh, like we are xenophobic and we have a hatred against them. They reaping the benefits while we busting our ass, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon on this amazing Sunday. We hope you've enjoyed your week. We want to thank all of you for tuning in with us, all of you who always tune in with us. And again, we want to say a special good afternoon to everyone except Wayne Munroe. So, ladies and gentlemen, to the rest of the Bahamas who are ready to fight for Bahamians and not against Bahamians, we're here and we want you to spend your afternoon with us. We got some stuff to show you. One thing with corruption, it can only hide for so long. Corruption can only hide for so long. And as long as you have patriots all over this country, as we do in every single government office, there are patriots who are making sure that any corruption is going to be exposed. In every single WhatsApp group in this country, we have patriots who are going to make sure that corruption is exposed. And so anything they do, anything they try, we will always be on top, because this is a God move. This is a God move. And this is a move like none other. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we would just want to say condolences to anyone who's lost a family member this week, this month. It seems like death is prevailing right now. It's like there's a dark cloud over this nation. And we don't know what to do. It's like murder is rampant in this nation right now. Murder is rampant. People are dying every day you look. People are dying. In fact, more than ever before, healthy, strong men and women are just dropping dead for no reason. Healthy, strong men and women. At the Crab Fest, we lost two amazing Bahamian young men who just died. Life is short and life is precious. And so we have to secure this, because you don't know when it's going to end. And that's serious. Life is precious. And so what we need is real leadership that's going to be inspiring to our people. Give us some hope. Deal with real solutions. It's easy to end crime in this country, the same way it's easy to end immigration issues, the same way it's easy to end our poverty issues, but there are some people who don't care to end those issues. They want things to remain the way they are. And they keep making you think that it's too difficult for them to resolve, or that they ran out of time. Give them another 5 years and they'll get it right this time. But this is the country we live in. I'm going to say a special good day to all of you who are tuned in. I see Biosan saying it's the damn V. That's the V word. Once I say that, they're not going to share this broadcast. So the V word. I see Bob. I see Romeo. Yeah, I did not take the wax, and there is ways to go in to the United States without that. And so you don't have to concern yourself that many Bahamians took it because they wanted to travel. You don't need that to travel. All right. And so there's ways to get in there. As you saw, I was broadcasting live from over there, and I am not vaccinated. Oh man, I said the word. I am not that, and I will not be. All right. I will not be taking that thing into my body that I don't know what it is. Good evening to Freedom Feeders. I see you there. Leah Green is watching. Wall Varen is watching. Good evening. Sydney Gazette. She says they're ready. Romeo says that's the poison. Yeah, that's what we should call it from now on. Just call it the poison. All right. Judy Walker is watching. Thank you, Judy Walker. Tello Bartlett. All of the patriotic Bahamians are there. All of the patriotic organic Bahamians are here. I see Robert Malone is there. Thank you, Robert. So good to see you there. Devin Fix It Mott. Tanel Taylor, thank you for tuning in. Natasha is there. Natasha Pelicanos, thank you so much for being here. LaShawn Dawkins, McNeil is there. Marilyn Ferguson. Thank all of you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. You're going to see something that's going to shock you in a minute. Make sure you share this. Get all your family and friends in here, because you're going to see this behind the scenes nonsense is what they're doing is demonic, and we can't wait to fight them. Belly Wilmore is there. Ray Jean, good afternoon to you. Estella Pratt, good afternoon. She sent the black heart. Thank you so much. Tony Culmer, Carlo Taylor is there. Watch the movies and you will understand, Carlo Taylor said. Shanice Miller, thank you. Good afternoon. Ian Jones say, we reach. So thank all of you all for joining. Who's watching from Freeport? Faye A. Smith is watching from Freeport. Thank you so much for joining us. And so a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. I just want to say a special good afternoon to all of our Haitian brothers and sisters who support us 100%. There are many Haitians who came here legally, who are here legally, or they are part of our society, and they understand exactly where we come from as it relates to this fight to make this country make sense. They understand that we don't hate Haitians. We have no problem with Haitians. We want things to be done the right way. All right? We want things to be done the right way. I wouldn't even want a Bahamian entering the Bahamas illegally the way they shouldn't. All right. I want anyone who comes here to come here legally. All right. When you come into this country, don't just a Bahamian. Don't just land in the plane, jump off the plane. Don't go through immigration, customs, let them know you're here. You know, no. You don't do that. Even though you're a Bahamian, you know, you do it the right way. If you come in a boat, make sure you check with customs, eh? So that's really what it is. It's shocking to me that Wayne Munroe and crew, working on behalf of Brave Davis, feel that it is so important to deal with persons they say are trespassing on land. They say it's criminal. They call us all kind of names. We get that in a minute. They call us all kind of names. All right? They ain't showing you no documents. They ain't quoting no law. But guess what? We can show you documents today. All right? Because anytime they talk, they just want you to believe them. But anyway, they feel it's so important to remove persons who are on the crown land illegally, but they don't see the importance of moving illegal immigrants who land in our country illegally, who are illegally living in our country and causing destructions in many instances to our country. Which one is more of a national security threat? Some Bahamians growing some plants or some illegals taking our land? We're going to show you some stuff. Thank all of you who tuned in. I think 13,000 of you tuned in to watch when I went to the Bonefish Pond and showed the illegality that's going on there. I showed the illegality that's happening there. Wayne Munroe said the Haitians are only on private property. So you can't, ain't nothing you could do with them because they're on private property. We're going to prove him wrong today. He's a liar from the pits of hell, a demonic person who needs to resign. We showed you those people, not just on Crown Land, on the Bonefish Pond National Park. And we showed you the destruction, the nastiness, etc. We didn't even go deep into the villages in there. There are many of them there. We just wanted a little, some we could show, some we keep for court. But he's a lying, demonic person. All right. And so we got some stuff to show you. What? Oh, my stuff just disappeared. Oh, wow. Did I get hacked? All right, we'll pull it back up. Very interesting. Something just happened just now. My documents just went away. And so I think I'm going to start, before I get to Wayne and this private land nonsense, I'm going to start with a very interesting show of force that happened and some justification for that show of force. I was shocked when I saw the police and the defense force and Wayne Munroe and them having a press conference and showing this gun range that's in the back there. This so-called gun range that was in the back of the well fields. Ladies and gentlemen, when I saw the police put on that acting show, like they didn't know this range was there, and I saw Wayne Munroe put on this acting show as if he didn't know this range was there, and I saw them try to twist it to make it seem like, oh, this is important because these are illegal guns that these people have, because they're saying that that the guns they were using, regular persons don't have access to. And so when I saw that, it was disturbing to me. When I saw them playing these games. And I'm going to show you some stuff right now that's not going to surprise many of you because, man, if you're old enough, you didn't see these same things over and over and repeatedly in this country. What I'm about to show you, I'm going to show you the police talking. All right? I'm going to show you what they have to say about all of this. All right? I want to show you that interview. I'm just making space for some other documents. I'm sorry. I'm going to show you that interview. And you're going to hear the police and you're going to see their acting show. just saying stuff because they feel the government want them to say it. And afterwards, I'm going to show you a secret WhatsApp that shows that they're lying. A secret WhatsApp message that is circumstantial evidence that these dudes are beyond evil. And so I was just trying to line it up for you. There we go. This is the police talking about the guns that are there.
Especially.
The 8-vehicle convoy went deeper, finding multiple excavation sites. Eventually, we came to an area of interest, an illegal firing range. Bullet-riddled derelict vehicles, broken glass targets, and a slew of shell casings litter the area. The colorful casings are from shotguns, officials say. But what about these larger 5.56 caliber casings?
Do you think it's safe to say that people are coming out here to test fire illegal firearms, illegal high-powered weapons?
I would think so. I would think so. Definitely wouldn't be none of the armed forces or government officials. So the multiplicity of firearms and shows that the cartridges they use are illegal ammunition cartridges.
The National Security Minister says after 14 days, clearance and enforcement will begin.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard him. They found the shooting range. And this shooting range is so mysterious. Like they ran up on this shooting range and there was some bullets there that they don't know what's going on. And I showed you this in a previous live that 2 days before they came out there, well, that Tuesday, they were there Friday, 3 days. This was the Defense Force training right there where they were. This exactly where they were, where the shooting range is. And it's the Defense Force who trains out there. All right, police comes out there and shoot too. But Defense Force trains out there. They've been doing this for a long time. In that area, they also do hunting of crown pigeon, beautiful white crown pigeons. This was their trainer, and you can see the bullets. You can see the bullets right there on the bottom. If you look right there across from where my hand is, you can see the bullets all over the ground, the same shooting range. And so they're standing on top of bullets. And this is a few days before they came there, they were there training again. And so this is a normal training area for them. And so we have videos, etc., of them training there and doing all this. We can reveal some and keep some. But so I was shocked that they put on this acting show like they didn't know. And so what you're about to see is an actual WhatsApp message because there's a group. There's a groups of people that go in the back there hunting. There's a women crew that go shooting clay, and there's some other groups that go there hunting. And there's this particular group of persons that is led by the son of Commissioner Paul Road. His name is also Paul. The son of Commissioner Paul Road. And they use that shooting range right there to shoot. The so-called illegal shooting range. The so-called illegal shoot. See, and the media just repeats stuff that these ministers say without putting any thought into it. They've been using that. People have been using it for a very long time. But the son of Commissioner Paul Road leads groups of people back there to shoot. Here is a message that he put in his group. The group is called Shots Fired, and they were updating them on whether they could go out this weekend or not, because they normally go out on the weekends, which I know. And I've told people that there is a shooting range back there, and people come there to shoot. Defense Force officers, police officers, and civilians. And you can look at this message right here, and this will show you that not only that this is the commissioner's son, that he's in talks with the Minister of National Security. Watch this. It says, "Good day." He's saying this to the group. Good day. Trust everyone is doing well and having a great day, week, and month so far. I have been in contact with the Minister of National Security and other key law enforcement and government figures for the past couple of days, and the current area where we operate doesn't pose an issue for us to use based on me getting permission from him. So he got permission to use that area from the Minister of National Security. But he said because that area is under conflict with several parties and the government, not for us to make use of the well fields area. Oh, wow. I'll come back to the rest of it in a minute. They have permission from the Minister of National Security to use that area. All right, the so-called illegal area. They've been had permission from the Minister of National Security to use that area. But the minister advising them for right now, just hold off because we have this dispute, with these people who are in the area. So for right now, just don't use the area. A pleasant good morning to everyone except Wayne Roosevelt Munroe. Let's read the rest of it. He says, so for right now, don't go in the area. Just for right now, while we can clear them out, get rid of them. We got abuse linking them, get rid of them, and then everything go back to normal. That's the message on the ground for anyone who is related to the PLP or anyone they want there. We get rid of them, and then we get you back in. It says, additionally, my team and I have been, I think it's a typo, access to another location for range work by the Honorable Minister. That process is not finalized yet. Oh, so the minister working with them. He knows what's going on. They're having conversations with him allegedly. So as it stands now, we will have to cancel our range work and other activities scheduled for this Sunday and press forward towards a new location and the facilities once licensing and approval has been secured. Thank you for your continued support, etc., etc. Does anyone else out there see that this is a conspiracy targeted at particular people? So somehow the commissioner don't know it's not have a shooting range down there. The Minister of National Security gave them permission to be there, but they went on the news allegedly and started putting this whole thing about the illegal gun range in the back there, etc., etc. Any Bahamian, right-thinking Bahamian can see what is going on. Wayne Munroe is behind all of this just to attack us. You saw his campaign generals first get exposed, attacking us. And when that didn't work, because everyone could see through their lies and it was exposed, he came himself with military, with tanks and soldiers, etc. Assaulted me. Lawsuit coming. Came himself. And now you have these ministers, some Haitians in the back there told us, oh, we got the proof, told us that the government officials told them, listen, to the MP, send message, you all stop making coal for right now. The same on my last video, the same shantytown I showed you, y'all stop making that for right now until everything blow over. They said that the woman complained and said, well, how else is she going to make money? And they said that the minister gave her a job at a government ministry while they're Bahamians looking for jobs. But what they did was they told everyone who was doing wrong, who was associated with them, everyone who was doing wrong, Listen, you all stop just right now. Tell this heat blow over. Lincoln isn't down. Well, just stop. Let us attack him. Let us get him and his people. And then once we get rid of them, we're going to give you all the crown land. That's the promise what's happening right now. So they got all their PLP trolls. You see how active they are, and they're spreading all kind of lies and everything they could think about me. And they got them on the promise side. Listen, you all just help us attack him. Let's turn public sentiment against him so that when we attack him, no one cares. And let's turn the public sentiment. And we get rid of him, and y'all will be able to come back, and we give you a lease first, and then grant it to y'all. Every meeting they have, we're a part of it. Because we are everywhere. We are a legion of patriots in every office and every ministry in this country. And we are tired and we're fed up. And so they found a gun range. Remember, these are the same people who took my guns, still have my guns, who took my guns for no reason. Outside of the law, no law empowers them to hold on to my guns and my firearm certificates. I did everything the right way within the law. What's the purpose of being within the law in this country? If the government and the police, etc., and the illegals, the foreigners don't have to follow the law is only for us. I license my gun. I shoot my gun in the back of the bush. But they still holding on my guns. In the back of the bush, no one around. In an area where there is a shooting range that the commissioner's son uses, and an area where they say the Minister of National Security gave them permission to use. But they don't know my guns? How come the law is only for Bahamians who do things lawful? Only if you're a political crony, a foreigner, or one of these people, the law ain't for you. Any of y'all remember this? Leslie Miller, one time, the building was empty, Robin Hood was closed, and everything was closed down. And he had some vandalism. People would go in there sometime and thief copper. They would thief copper and sell it, right? But one time he went there, and he said when they came in, two fellas ran out. When he was going in there, he had the alarm went off, two fellas ran out. Now, he don't know if they were vagrants, people just living in the building, saw the police car pulling up and just decided to run. They were not armed. He didn't see them thieving anything. He just saw them run out. What he did was he went to his car off his gun because he said he didn't have the gun on him at the time. It says a PLP MP fired shots as a member of parliament, fired shots in the direction of what he believed to be two fleeing copper thieves after an estimated $500,000 worth of utter destruction was caused at Robin Hood store. All right. Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller took action after he and police officers found two men on Robin Hood property yesterday morning. He suspected them of having been the copper thieves. He said he had copper thieves before. All right. So even though they had already stolen copper, he assumed that these people were still copper thieves. And he said, we went out there, and these two guys are out there. He said, when we opened the door, they ran out, and we ran behind them. We ran after them for about 200, 300 yards. I didn't have my shotgun in my hand, but by the time I started shooting, they were already through the bush. So this man shoot at persons who were unarmed, didn't know what they was doing. He didn't see them thieving nothing. But they running in an empty building. Y'all see Robin Hood? That's like a derelict building. They ran. Maybe they was sleeping in there. And he shot at them. Admitted to that. The police never took his gun. Never. There was Leslie, another incident where they was having a land dispute in that same area. Mr. Higgs and Leslie Miller and some other people were crowded around there, and they said Leslie Miller shot his gun in the air. In front of people. Intentionally. The police never took his gun. The law It's for some in this country. And when the law starts to fail in that way, where there's discrimination, rank gross discrimination, then anarchy will be the result. And the citizens have a duty to bring the system in order. When those who are in charge of keeping order are out of order, we must rise up and restore order as a people. You have a duty to do so. And so I just want to say to those persons who are part of this group, shots fired, because one of them felt like, I was the reason they can't have their gun range this week because, I expose whatever. I want to say this to you. As Bahamians, we should not have to be hiding and ducking and dodging like roaches. I'm calling on the government right now to give you a gun range, an official gun range, or allow you to give you some crown land where you could set up your own gun range and have your enjoyment. We shouldn't have to be hiding and ducking and dodging to enjoy our country. Wayne Munroe chose to tell you can't go in the back there, but he can't tell you not to go in the back there. That is crown land, isn't it? And you have a right to go and hunt your birds, shoot, do whatever you want to. You have a right to do that in the back there. It's not a legal gun range. You putting up some bottles and shooting it. I mean, what law are you breaking? You're in a forest area. And the law allows for that. I support you guys 100%. And I believe that you should not be interfered with. But here again is Wayne Munroe and these guys. You can see them behind the scenes trying to tell everyone, listen, y'all just stop for right now so we could just point the finger at Lincoln them and attack them. Once we get them out of the way, we could just charge them with something. We could just sue them with something. We could just we say they trespassing. Just get rid of them. And then you go back to normal once we get them out of the way. That's the message. I want to say this, and I understand how those gun range people feel. I'm sorry, but I'm standing up for Bahamians and for your rights. To have a right to have a gun range in this country. To have a right to have a gun. That's what I'm standing up for. First, to stop, we got to stop hiding in the back of the bush, man. We got to have some rights in this country, man. A lot of people celebrate Martin Luther King. We celebrate his birthday every year. We celebrate his story. But we don't pay attention to the real story of Martin Luther King, who is one of my role models. Martin Luther King was not liked in his life while he was alive. We celebrate him now that he is dead. But the majority of white people didn't like him. And the majority of black people didn't like him. Believe it or not. The majority. They hated when he came to town because they was like, man, when you come, it'll be trouble, man. Man, just go away, Martin Luther King. Just don't come to our town. Go fight everywhere else. Leave us. We good. Just leave us. We can handle this. And every time Martin Luther King came to town and the white people started getting down on the black people in the town, they would point the finger at Martin Luther King and say, he's the problem. They would misdirect the real issue. They wouldn't see where the real corruption was. And so you have some people who are trying to say, oh, this is happening because Lincoln is there or because he exposed certain things. No, it's not. It's happening because Bahamians have no friggin' rights in this country. It's happening because it's time for us to stand up. It's happening because we got to go hide and sneak to get some crown land. When in every other country, there's a legal process. There's laws reference to it that you can go to the act and say, this is the act on crown land, and this is the regulations, and this is how you get crown land if you want it. Every other country except this one. This one, there's no legal process. They could change the process at their whim, and everything goes to the prime minister. In no other country is that the case. We all celebrate MLK, and I celebrate him too. But this is the truth. This is from the Smithsonian. It says, even though he is revered today, Martin Luther King was widely disliked by the American public when he was killed. Many of us have either forgotten that or didn't realize that. He was a jailbird. See the police roughing him up there? He fought. It says he was widely disliked by the American public. This is according to an early 1968 Harris poll. The man whose half-century of martyrdom we celebrate this week died with a public disapproval rating of 75%, a figure shocking in his own day and still striking even in today's highly polarized political climate. Their official polls showed that among Americans, black and white, Martin Luther King had a 75% disapproval rating. He had to carry on because he knew it was the right thing to do. Despite the fact that the church was hating on him, he quit as a pastor. Because he believed that the mission he was fighting was more important than holding a church service. He quit as a pastor. Because the church was telling him, Martin Luther King, man, is a way to do things, man. It's a process. You can't just go and block the bridge. He's a criminal. They used to call him a criminal. You can't just go and eat in a restaurant if the law said you got to abide by the laws. There's a way to do things. That's what they used to tell him. There's a way to do things, man. Everyone else was soft and scared and didn't want even another role model, Malcolm X, would say some hard words, some harsh words, but he wasn't going to eat in a restaurant and get locked up. He wasn't going to block in no bridge, get locked up, but he would say, by any means necessary. But let Martin Luther King go do that. The NAACP, they were like, Martin Luther King, them, that's the dark-skinned Negroes, and they uncouth, and we're the light-skinned Negroes, and we're more professional and educated. We don't have time for that. We don't even endorse Martin Luther and what he is doing. How easily we forget. How easily we forget. And so, according to the Smithsonian, most people in his day did not like him. He had a 75% disapproval rating. And all he was doing was fighting for us. But when he came to town, they would make it seem like he was the problem. But he really became the problem and they decided to kill him when he started to fight for economic empowerment. He changed his mission from going in bathrooms and having equal rights in that way. And he realized, hey, we got swung. It's economic empowerment we need in all of his messages in his last days, but you will never see any of those speeches in his last 4 years. You'll never see any of those anywhere. He wiped them out. Those was when he was saying that we need economic empowerment. He started talking more like Marcus Garvey at that point. They said, yeah, you got to go. Even Lyndon Baines Johnson, the person who signed the Civil Rights Bill, cut him off. Cut him off, all communication. The media cut him off. In fact, he had to do an interview with Playboy magazine. The media had cut him off. They totally blacklisted him. He literally did an interview, Martin Luther King, with Playboy magazine to get the message out. But in the end, he won. In the end, we can go in bathrooms. Even though everyone hated on him, we can go in the bathroom when we go to the US. We can go in Red Lobster when we go to the US. This battle that we are fighting is more than just trying to get land. This is about empowering Bahamians. How is it? Everyone else can go and possess the land. We showed you proof of that over and over. They're doing it even on our Bonefish Pond. Just come and take our land. But Bahamians, they're saying, is a process. This is a cause not only for which I am willing to be arrested, but this is a cause for which I'm willing to die. Paul Road, y'all should be finished playing with my guns now. Please return my firearms to me. I'm a law-abiding, decent citizen, and I say this respectfully. Return my firearms to me. You do not have you are breaching my constitutional right by depriving me of my property. All right? So I say that respectfully to you. Enough is enough. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Munroe, this is a personal attack against us. And his fingerprints are all over this. It's evil and it's wrong. And we're going to stand up and we're going to fight. All right? So, Wayne Munroe also lied to the Bahamian people. That lying Wayne lied to the Bahamian people. He did, interviews. There's newspaper stuff where he said that, and also there's also WhatsApp. He was all over Facebook and WhatsApp telling people that the land that the lawsuit, the Haitian lawsuit where they got an injunction, that the land was about private land, not public land. And he's trying to say we're on public land, so we could hit us with trespassing because the government owned the land. That's a lie they're spreading because they know people don't really know the law and they don't really keep up with a lot of stuff. And so he's just spewing that nonsense in hopes that people won't remember what he's talking about. He said the Shanty Downs in Abaco are reported to be on private land, as are the majority of Shanty Downs in New Providence. The complaint about Shanty Downs, the failure of ministry, et cetera, et cetera. He also said, that's a different one. Where's the clip from Wayne Munroe? Okay, we don't see it. He has another WhatsApp clip where he said that the Shanty Downs with reference to the lawsuit that it was all on private land. If it's one thing this man is good at, is twisting and lying. He's a avid professional at that. Let me see if I can find that other one. When he said, because I like to show you. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's get it uploaded. So it said the demolitions that were halted were on private land. We are not at this moment talking about any demolition of any building on private land. The difference should be obvious and clear. So he's trying to say that the situation with the Haitians before with Fred Smith was about private land. We're going to go through the actual documents to show you how demonic this man is. He will say anything. Anything. Now, anytime they talk, they don't ever show you anything. They don't show you no proof or nothing. Anytime I talk, I show you proof. You choose who you will believe. They get a couple PLP trolls go do one voice note just saying stuff and people start sharing it. Oh, see what this one says, as if that is evidence. But anytime we talk, and that's why I like to go live to show evidence of what I say. But here's what he said also on the news.
To vacate the land. Munroe also working to explain the difference between the government's response to Crown land squatters versus other shantytowns, for critics pointing to disproportionate action by the government.
Crown land belongs to the government. Private land belongs to private homeowners. If you permit people to squat on your property, after 12 years they will own it. That's what the laws of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas says. Shantytowns, as I'm made to understand, are on leased land by private homeowners. The issue that the government has with shanty towns is illegal buildings contrary to the relevant laws.
And this isn't an
So he is trying to make it seem like the situation with Haitians, that's private land. So if the people don't want to do something about the Haitians being on their land, that's their business. They have the private land and they leasing to the Haitians is what he's saying. That they're leasing the Haitians. And that's what he's saying that's what that injunction and lawsuit was about. That's a lie from the deepest, darkest pits of hell. And what bothers me is that he knows that. We have now had every minister involved with this lying and deceiving. The Minister of Environment and the Department of Forestry came out and said that the land that we are allegedly on was a protected forest. Or they call us all kind of criminal with reference to this protected forest, et cetera, et cetera. And then they had to come back, and I kept telling people, listen, this is not a protected forest. Here's the proof. This is not a protected forest. This is ground land. But some people still listen to the ministers because that's the minister. They should be honest, and they're wearing a suit. Look at them. Look how sharp they look. They must be telling the truth. And this woman looks so intelligent. You know, Miss Daniel Hennick, she must be telling the truth. Look at her. She's very intelligent. She speaks the Queen's English. Her English is flawless, so she must just be telling the truth because she has that look. They had to come back and admit that what we were saying was true and that they lied and that it was just crown land. They had to come back and swallow their vomit and tell the truth. Everything that I say on these lives always turns out to be the truth. Always. And so this demonic man who is targeting us, the leader of the opposition has come out and said, you can't cherry pick who you're going to deal with. And so this man who has targeted us, when we are doing the same thing that has been done from time immemorial with Crown Land, you possess it, you apply, you get it. That has always been the practice. And we can go in any court and say and show that. That has always been the accepted practice. You can't change the practice because it's Lincoln and you don't like Lincoln. You know, they changed some rules in basketball for Michael Jordan because, you know, he was just that good and they had to make it fair to everyone else. They changed some laws because of Charles Barkley because he was just so dominant. They changed laws for Shaquille O'Neal because he was just so dominant. You got to change the rules to stop him or basketball isn't going to be fun anymore. They changed the rules in basketball for Allen Iverson because this guy was just so good. We can't let him be this good. They make up rules every time they go public. Every time they have a press conference, they tell one lie to the next. Environmental minister and his team lied. The AG lied and said the lawsuit was only referenced to Abaco. Big lie. He said, I've just read it. I just finished reading it. Just finished reading it. And the injunction was only with reference to Abaco. It's not to do with New Providence. I just read it. That's the Attorney General. Lied to the Bahamian people. These people are just criminals, man. I read the thing. They're criminals. Don't listen to them. Listen to us. Look, you know, listen to us. Well, the Minister of Work said that the situation in Abaco is a humanitarian situation and he sidestep and break off running. And now the Minister of National Security is coming and lying about everything. Lying, putting on a show about this, this gun range, when he know behind the scenes he was dealing with it. Lied about the fill, brought them out there to look at where Miller is doing the fill, etc. Only showed them the coal mining because they could stop that. But guess what? Miller was mining fill again the next day, right after that, because it was only a show. But they didn't show you the dump right there because they wanted that to continue. They just wanted to put on a show, attack us, get rid of us, and then go back to normal in the back there. So this line minister says that the injunction was about private land. I have the papers, the court papers, that says differently. I have the actual court papers. Very interesting stuff. I'm going to browse through a couple of this just to let you see this. You see, when these fellas talk, they just lie, and they think that we're this the olden days, where they control the media and they control the narratives, and only what they say is going to go out there anyway, so they could just say any lie that they want to say. They think that it's the olden days, where people just believe them. I have the court papers that actually says that the government was claiming that this is crown land that they were dealing with, and that they were going to repossess this crown land, take this back, all right, to build subdivisions, etc. That's because they were trying to show some justification of taking it because the government has to have some use for it. So minister was saying we could do some subdivisions. I don't live in no subdivision in the mud and pigeon pea. I don't live in no subdivision where no shanty down was. So let's take a minute, go through these papers, because we like to educate the Bahamian public while these government people like to lie to you. Never believe anything that comes out of government officials' mouth. Believe nothing they say. If they say anything, you know one thing that is not the truth. You might know the truth, but one thing you know is not the truth is whatever they say. So let me see if I can hook this up for you so you can see this on the screen. We did an elaborate setup for y'all. Let me see if we can pull this up. Yeah, let's get this over here. Yeah, we're gonna go through some of this. I want you to see this because these people, I mean, they lie. I don't know how one set of people could lie so much. It's just, I mean, disgusting. How one set of people could lie so much. All right, trying to get this up on the next screen. Give me 1 second. We try a little technical stuff. Let's see how this is gonna work. The thing is disappeared. I don't know where it is. Maybe the screen is frozen. Let's try to connect this again. Let's give me a second to get the screen up for y'all. Let me see if something else will go up. Okay. The screen was dormant so long waiting on me. I think it just blanked out. Let's reset that. I want you all to see these documents for yourself and see the arguments they were bringing forth for illegal immigrants. Like, they have so much rights. I mean, it's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. You know, the kind of rights, they were the kind of rights they were. Oh my God, my whole screen went blank. I don't know what happened. Okay, there it is. Let's pull this up. There we go. There we go. I don't want to do it the manual way. Just give me a second. I'm going to pull it up in a minute. And so I just want to touch on a couple of things in there. Oh, now it's going to come up. Okay, perfect. Just had to reset that for a minute. Let me get that up. All right, perfect. So all right. So I got the original document sent to me. Very, very, very interesting, to say the least. I'm gonna pull this up for you in a second. Let me just share my screen now. All right, there we go. Okay, coming up. There you go. You should the stream. It should be showing up. Let's see if that's showing. Why is it blinking like that? Okay, the screen is up. I don't know why it's blinking the way it is. Okay, it stopped. All right, perfect. So this the actual court documents. This the actual court documents that so this is the one between Desmond Bannister, Senator, whatever. All right. Expert they respect our homes and whatever, right? And so this is it, the 100 occupants, etc. All right. So here, see where I get this. This is very interesting stuff. All right. They have the name and addresses of everything and whatever. All right. So I'm going to start at, because I want you to get right to the point. All right. I'm going to start at page 17. Let's go straight to page 17. It's page 9. Okay, this is just, no, maybe I should just go to some more from the beginning. Okay, let's go back. I want you to get this. Just the application leave the Bible, just review. All right, so there. So Yuval Zinger, Minas is sued in his capacity as the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, the Prime Minister. Now watch this. This is very interesting. This the information. First respondent. The Prime Minister is responsible for inter alia lands and surveys, such lands including Crown land. Section 54 of the Conveyancing and Law and Properties Act, acquisition of lands and information, etc. Right? So they are referencing the Prime Minister in his role as Prime Minister and his power over Crown land. There are some people that will tell you that the Queen has power over Crown land. That is utter nonsense. And if you read section 54 of that act, I don't know if I could bring the act up while this is sharing the screen. I don't know if I could bring the act up while I'm sharing the screen. I'm going to do an experiment while I got this up. But if you look at the act, I'll show you the act afterwards, and it'll show you that the Prime Minister, not the Queen. It says the Queen had authority up until July 12, 1973. But after that, it's under the control of the minister responsible. It doesn't have to be the Prime Minister. Whatever minister is responsible. All right. So let's look at some more stuff. Yeah, let's go. Let's keep going. Where is it? All right. All right. Let's keep going. So Prime Minister was sued. All right. On the 7th of February, The Guardian published an article titled Folks to Lead Shantytown Removal Committee. The Minister of Labor is quoted in the article as saying that the government, approved by the cabinet conclusion, has appointed a committee chaired by himself to regularize all the shanty towns in the Bahamas. We have a committee that comprises of over 30 persons representing most of the departments and the ministries of the government, all right, including Royal Bahamas Police Force. So they put together this task force as they did before. All right, the PM has given the committee firm instructions. Members of the committee comprise of the Shantytown Action Task Force, another task force, et cetera, et cetera. All right, on the 13th, Bahama Journal published an article titled Shantytown's Change for Bahamians, in which it was reported that the government plans to make good use of the land taken back from Shantytown residents. So obviously it ain't private land. All right, here we go. Prime Minister Hubert Minnis said it will all be used to develop subdivisions for Bahamians to purchase at a reduced price. All right, so they're gonna get rid of the shanty towns and they were gonna make subdivisions for Bahamians to produce houses at a reduced price. All right, the article quotes the Prime Minister as having also said, we also have intentions of launching a land audit, and we have intentions of reviewing all of the lands that were obtained by individuals who have made commitments to do some things with the land. So of course, we're talking about Crown land they got from the government. And when you get the Crown land, you're supposed to what? If you get it for farming, you farm, but some people were taking it and then building subdivision or doing other things, or renting out to Haitians. All right, continue. It is some made commitments to embark on farming, but if you check those lands, I have more tomatoes on my back porch than they have on their farms. So they have not met those commitments. And those lands will be taken back so that homes can be developed by our young people. Again, this is a land in reference to this case. Crown land, Wayne Munroe, because you don't seem to be able to read, or you are a deceptive, evil liar. Let's continue, Wayne Munroe. Someone tag that demon. The second respondent, Dion Folks. His capacity is minister. Minister Folks is chairman of the Shantytown Action Task Force. And he said, plans executed on shanty towns, in which it was reported that the Minister Folks said that successful in regularizing the shanty towns. If successful in regularizing the shanty towns, the Bahamas would be the first to make such a move. In an apparent attempt to explain what he meant by regularizing the shanty towns, Minister Folks is then quoted as saying, I know of no country in the world who have successfully settled or eliminated or dismantled shanty towns. If we are successful, this would be the first time. That's because there's laws preventing you from doing so, including international laws. And you were not successful in doing it either. And now Wayne Munroe is going to do it to attack Bahamians who are fed up of just sitting around waiting while all our land goes to everyone else. It says, in his letter, dated the 14th of February 2018 to Candace & Co., the Minister of Labor described the mandate of the Interministerial Committee comprising the Shantytown Action Task Force settled that for nearly 50 years, Shantytowns have been a dilemma for the Bahamas as they are a conduit to abject poverty, health hazards, and criminal activities. Oh, you all know crime happening in the Shantytowns from there? That's where the guns and drugs are? But you bring the military to the people who farming, the Bahamians? Oh, there's a report on this, and this is called documents I'm reading. But your priority is us. Continue. Thereupon, the government of the Bahamas has mandated a special interministerial committee to irrevocably eliminate those towns and to assist their residents with relocating to healthier and more livable neighborhoods. Third respondent, the Honorable Desmond Bannister, Public Works. The Minister of Public Works is responsible for building regulation, because that's where they talk about the Building Act and you build it up permission and all this nonsense that this lawsuit also shut down. He is also responsible for inter alia urban development, town and country planning, private roads and subdivision land use, etc., etc. All right, power, light, water, all that. All right, on March 6th, the Tribune published an article entitled Shanty Towns Have to Go. In that article, Minister Bannister was reported to have said that the government was working to fully eradicate shanty towns, focusing on cleanup and removal as opposed to regulating those areas. So they were now contradicting each other. Once they regulated, once they get rid of them. And they're on the same task force. Minister Bannister was also quoted as saying, so there is no question of regulations. Wow. So they are contradicting. We are looking to get rid of them, as the Prime Minister has indicated, and there was a view when we went to Abaco. Some of you went to Abaco with me. You saw some of the things that is happening there. We need to get rid of those shanty towns. All right? So we're talking about Abaco also. On the 2nd of May, 2002, Bahama Journal published an article entitled Shantytown Survey Completed, in which Minister Folks was quoted as saying, we intend to have 2 town hall meetings, one in the shanty towns themselves and another one for the subdivisions around the shanty towns. So we can tell everyone exactly what our timetable is and what the notice period is in terms of the residents to move. The notices were issued by the Ministry of Public Works, and each of them stated that you are reminded that the government of the Bahamas indicated in January 2018 that it intends to eliminate unregulated communities, also known as shanty towns. Same thing, throughout the Bahamas. Fourth respondent, Senator Honorable Carl Bethel, sued in his capacity as Attorney General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The Attorney General acts as legal advisor to the government. The National Guardian published an article titled Shantytown Deadline Extended, in which Minister Folks, while referring to the second round of notices dated 9 July 2018 and the government's extension of the eviction deadline, because when the deadline came up, them agents telling you all go to hell. So they extended the deadline. And the government's extension of the eviction deadline to August 10th, 2018 is quoted as saying, it changed because of the first notice we had to give, which required a 14-day lead period. Nonsense. The Attorney General gave us advice on this just in case it goes to court. We want to make sure we've covered all legal grounds and there is no possibility of what we're doing be stopped. Well, it was stopped. The Attorney General's advice regarding the notices was further confirmed by the Bahamas Information Service press release 2018, the task force, the shanty towns, etc., etc. As already shown, the Minister of Labor has also reported, etc. I'll skip over that. All right. Bahamas Power and Light, they talk about electricity and distribution, and those people selling and providing the sale of energy in bulk, the people reselling water and sewage, their connections, all this kind of stuff. Everything is right there. All right. I'm going to get to where we're talking about some stuff we're going to get to in a minute. All right. So all this committees, read this here. According to Bahamas Information Service press release dated 12 July 2018, task force reports on shanty towns, it was reported that heads of committees representing Water and Sewerage Corporation, Bahamas Power and Light, presented findings of a survey of shanty towns on Fayette Avenue West. Remember, that's where I drove, which I entered from Fayette Avenue West to get into the Bonefish Pond, because that goes straight from Fayette Avenue all the way to Bacardi Road on the back road on the water in the back. Most Bahamians never drove that road, didn't even know it exists. All right. So Fayette Avenue West, the eastern side of Bacardi Road, and off Golden Isles Road at a press conference on Thursday. So this is where some of these shanty towns are. So Fayette Avenue West, that's Crown land. Off Bacardi, eastern side of Bacardi Road, that's Crown land. All right. That's where the Bonefish Pond and all that starts. Crown land. And the one off Golden Isles Road, where all the Farmer Cates and all them is, Crown land. I can show you that in a minute. All right? We got documents to show you what's going on. And the area where they are on the minister's brother's land, we can show you that land, and we can show you his grant, where he got granted, but they ain't just on his land. They take over the whole thing. But that ain't important to Wayne Munroe. Now, we can show you that in a minute. Hold on. Let's keep going. Keep going. Page are we on? Okay, good. So give me one sec. I'm still going through this because you might want to go back and go to this. Unregulated communities have emerged in the Bahamas over the last 40 years or so. They stand on land, the land, that is predominantly, or as is presumed to be, Crown land. Oh, wow. Apparently, Wayne Munroe can't read. Apparently, Wayne Munroe can't read. It says an exhaustive determination of the legal title holders to the land has not been possible. But the government respondents have been acting on the unproven footing that the land is Crown land, to which they have an immediate right to possession. So this now is them challenging the government on this, because the government says it's Crown land. So from Wayne Munroe's point of view, he should be, the government, saying that this is Crown land. What Fred Smith them is saying is, prove it. Where your title? So that's another argument, all right? So it says, in the past, land has mostly been used for farming, and the leases granted to farmers. Those farmers invited workers onto the land, the majority of whom were immigrants from Haiti. Over the years, these immigrant workers established homes on the land. They built houses and other buildings on the land. Some of the buildings are no more than lightly constructed shacks or shed. Others are more elaborate and well-appointed permanent dwellings connected to utilities supplied by inter alia BPL and water and sewage. Many of the people who now live on the land were born there. Most of the people living there are Bahamian citizens. All right, meaning they got their papers after being there for a while. And they said, look at this article in Tribune, where Minister Folks is quoted as saying all the properties being used, with the exception of one, is constituted as Crown land. Let me repeat that. Minister Folks, someone tag Wayne Munroe. Minister Folks is quoted as saying all the properties being used, with the exception of uno, of un, if you speak Creole. Because that's what we and them want us to be speaking in the next 2 years. With the exception of one, is constituted as Crown land, leased by the government to Bahamians for the purpose of farming. So see also the Bahama Journal article, 7 February, etc. Plan executed on Shanty Downs, in which Minister Folks described residents of Shanty Downs as most of them are in school. Most of the residents who live there are working. A large section of them are actually Bahamian citizens, meaning they had a bunch of children there. They went there, had a bunch of children, so they is now Bahamians. Either naturalized Bahamians or who, so here's the explanation, either naturalized Bahamians or who are married and have rights to be here. So either they marry Bahamians or they naturalize Bahamians. All right? A lot of the residents have work permits, and a lot of times they get it from their children. All right? Over time, the communities on the land have grown. Farming is no longer the predominant use of the land. Instead, there's a sizable villages with hundreds of families and businesses on them. These communities are not the only such communities in the Bahamas. There are others, but the distinctive feature of the communities in the issue in these proceedings, these on the land, is that the population is majority ethnic Haitian as opposed to Bahamians. Okay, and they talk about there being a high degree of poverty, and the conditions are often unsanitary and unsafe. All right, and so see what page I'm on. Page am I on? 16. All right, getting this up right now. All right, so here, 17. So basically they're saying, oh, it's page 22 I'm going to. So basically what they're saying is that the government is now, everything they're doing is unconstitutional. You can't move these people because they have a right to be here because you let them be here. And they're human, they have some human rights. And so that's what they're saying. They're talking about all these the notices and how they posted these notices. I think I should go over a couple of these for y'all. See, we read documentation. We don't do what Raymond with them do, just go and back at a microphone and lie. So apparently, as a result of advice from the fourth defendant, presumably to the effect that the extent that the June notices was intended to secure a right of possession or demolition, so the government will repossess land. So Wayne Munroe, make sure you come in correct when you come, all right? On or about the 9th of July, a decision was taken to serve different notices on the communities. That on regard to the set of notices was issued, so they didn't go behind a microphone like Wayne Munroe and say, you'll get off. Notices were issued, as I said in the news. You have to do it in writing. You don't go behind a microphone and say, you'll have 14 days to get off the land, or I'm bringing my army of men in uniform with guns and tanks. If you don't move in 14 days, that's not how it's done. In that, I'm reading. In that regard, as a set of 2 notices were issued on the 9th of July, 2018, July notices. The notices purported to be made pursuant to Section 4 of the Buildings Regulations Act. That's the building code saying you didn't get permission to build. All right, now I want you to notice that Wayne Munroe basically said in 14 days we come and make sure you're all in there when we come. which is totally against the law. What is this man talking about? What is he talking about? They just say anything that comes to their head. They just disregard the law. I'll continue reading. The first July notice was a general notice addressed to all landowners and residents in 11 shanty towns in New Providence listed there. And the second July notice was addressed to all landholders and residents in each specified shanty town. The July notices are apparently identical so far as they are related to each of the 11 shanty towns in New Providence. They are not addressed to any particular addressee. They relate to no particular property, no particulars of the property given. So what Fred is saying that, listen, they give written notice, but these written notice is garbage because they address to no one specific, and this nonsense, this is all up in the law. July notices are addressed to each of the individual shanty towns and signed by Craig Delancey, Billing Controls Officer, notwithstanding that it purported to be a notice by the minister responsible for billing regulation. So he's saying that's the wrong person on there. All right, the July notices were served in mass on or about 9 July, largely by posting them on the front part of the houses of the occupiers of the land, including the individual applicants, and by posting them on lampposts. As far as he's saying, listen, that ain't how this works. The July notice are reminded addressees that the government intended to eliminate unregulated communities. All right, so I'm going to skip over. Let's get down to page 22. All right, the press are reporting of notices as eviction notices. All right, let me just read the whole thing. Although the notices merely instructed the recipients to demolish buildings, nevertheless, it is clear that the notices were being used as a means to obtain possession of the land without establishing any right to do so. So, in other words, the government trying to say they possessing this land, but they ain't saying nothing in the law to say would give them a right to possess this land. All right, so possession of the land without establishing any right to do so, the possession decision, which is clear from the press reporting of the notices as eviction notices, the Tribune, they gave the date, or notice to evacuate, all right, in the Guardian. The press reporting that the Minister of Labor said that once the shanty towns are cleared, the government will take possession of the land, all right, obviously meaning it's Crown land. Once it's cleared, the government will take possession of the land. Now, the private one, the government could compulsorily acquire it, right? Which a part of the mud and pigeon peas was. And that's what the government was talking about. But the rest of it, the government was just possessing the land, all right? One article in the Bahama Journal published 13 July 2018 that stated the government plans to make good use of the land taking back from the shantytown residents. Prime Minister Hubert Minnis said it will all be used to develop subdivisions for Bahamians purchased at reduced price. An article in the Bahama Journal stated that the Minister of Labor said that the land is now considered Crown land. Okay, and so this is for Wayne Munroe, constantly lying to the public and telling the public that the matter was concerning private land. I'm showing you court documents. All right, none of the government respondents has articulated by what right they could seek possession of the land. Minister Folks is on record as saying, so in other words, yeah, they saying they go take this Crown land back, but they ain't sure. Notice how Wayne Munroe and all them keep talking, but they ain't quoting no laws. They saying, oh, it's laws, but they ain't telling you what the law is. Oh, it's a way to do things. They ain't telling you what the way is and what law you're referring to. They just hope that if they keep repeating this and keep calling us criminals, that people will get on their side. They have not quoted one law yet. No, not one. No, not one. And that's the same thing Fred Smith is saying to them. Oh, you're taking the people of Crown land? Okay, according to which law? That's what Fred Smith is saying. None of the government respondents has articulated by what right they could seek possession of the land. Minister Folks is on record as saying, All land with exception to one is crown land, leased by the government to the two Bahamians for the purpose of farming. All right, but apparently also maintaining that Shantytown has leaseholders. All right, Cabinet at some point will make a decision, they're quoting him, as to the legal implications and the results of any infractions or laws in respect to leaseholders of all of the properties. So wherever there were persons who leased crown land and then they took it and leased it to Haitians to live on, that's against the law. So Wayne Munroe can do something. So he's trying to say that all these private, because there's some instances where persons were leasing crown land for farming, but instead of using it, they just rented it to Haitians, and Haitians were doing shanty towns. But then it can be taken back. But they don't want to touch them, because that ain't what this exercise is about. This exercise is about being impartial and attacking us. That's what this exercise is about. That's what this whole thing is about. And we're not going to stand for it. We're not going to stand for this. I'm going to skip over to page 26. Just to go through this quickly so we can finish what we're doing. Legal framework. As far as the possession decision is taken, the government respondents do not apparently seek to rely on any law to take possession of the land. A fortiori, the decision is unlawful because the government may only act according to law. Let me help you understand what I just read. It says, as far as the possession decision, I mean, to take possession back of the land, like they're threatening with us, is taken, the government respondents do not apparently seek to rely on any law to take possession of the land. A fortiori, the decision is unlawful because the government may only act according to law. Anytime the government does anything and there's no law empowering them to do it, they are breaking the law. They're acting ultra-virusly. And that is what Wayne Munroe and these people are doing. They're just trying to find any reason to attack Bahamians. That is what their whole agenda is. All right, that's their whole agenda. And if you read this whole document, all right, if you read this whole document, there's a lot here. So here they're saying, Frenchman is arguing, it may be that the government respondents contend that the acquisition of the land does not apply because the land already belongs to the crown. That would be misconceived. You can't just say this crown land, we taking this back. He says, because the government apparently admits that one parcel is not crown land and the others have leases over them, meaning that whatever the position is to the ownership, the crown would not have any right to immediate possession. It would be unlawful for the crown to take possession by means of self-help in any event. All right, I'll keep reading. I'll explain audio once I wrap up in a minute. And they're talking about the utilities decision. They say there's no law empowering them to disconnect anything, only if you don't pay. So he says once the Haitians keep paying, you can't disconnect. And that was a loophole in the law that he used. All right, let me skip over page 30. They also talked about their human rights. All right. The applicants also rely on the following constitutional rights and freedoms: protection from inhumane treatment. It's a constitutional rights. Protection from privacy of the home. They've already come there and treated us inhumanely, bringing the military there and roughing us up, etc., locking people up for no reason. Protection of freedom of movement. Protection from discrimination on the grounds of race or place of origin. That's what they're doing to us, because they're not touching the Haitians, but they're touching us as Bahamians. Protection from deprivation of property. That's what they're doing. Grounds for judicial review. They're saying it is ultra-virus. All right, the government is acting outside of the law. All right, I won't read all of these to you, but I'm scrolling slow, so you go back and rewind and pause and see it anyway. All right, you're talking about undocumented immigrants, and this is what the government failed to consider. This last one I'll read for you. All right, last one. I won't go into the international rights. In making a blanket decision to take possession of the entire land and or to demolish all the buildings on the land, all three decisions failed to take into account the individual circumstances of the occupiers, of individuals' parts of the land, individual buildings on the land, including the nature of the right by which they occupy. So why are they there? What is their right to be there? You can't just come and say, oh, in 14 days move, or we just come in to obliterate you. You have to consider, what's my right to be there? There are persons there who were born there. There's a Mr. Roll, who's in the back there, who was there for almost 40 years. He was born in the back there. He lived there all his life. How you just reaching and tell a man he got to move? There's another lady who was there for 43 years. She was actually born there. How are you going to just come in the back there and say, don't be there when we come? Who do you think you were talking to, Wayne Munroe? Y'all showed the Haitian immigrant respect, and you all want to disrespect Bahamians? There are people there who were born there. This place wasn't just developed. The next thing they didn't consider was the nature of the building affected and the effect that eviction would have on them and their families. Next, further, the decision was motivated by the relevant consideration of what apparent right the occupiers had to possess the land, as opposed to what right the government had to possess the land. So if the government is coming, they got to tell you what right they have. They can't tell us we don't belong there. Huh? So I'll leave that. There's a lot more in here, but I just wanted to show you documentary evidence. This court documents. I have more court documents. I'll save for another time. That shows that Wayne Munroe is an absolute demonic liar, and that we should not listen to anything that that man says moving forward. These people just come and tell you anything and hope that you just believe anything that they say. These people are consummate demonic liars. And Wayne Munroe was sent by Philip Brave Davis. And as Fred Mitchell stated in a voice note recently, he said that the whole entire cabinet endorsed this move. They were sent by by Brave Davis and the cabinet to attack Bahamians. That area is occupied by Bahamians who have a right to be there. There's one Haitian family there that I know about in that area living, and there's another Haitian family, group of families that are farming. We didn't harass them, we don't harass them. All right, they are there. But guess what? When the government comes, they come straight at us. There are PLP generals who've been operating, who cleared down, who did all this stuff. They don't go in the area, they don't touch the area, they leave them alone. PLPs in that area have been promised, and these generals that you see keep going on WhatsApp and spreading these bunch of lies and twisting the truth and selling all this stuff. They've been promised that once they remove us, they're going to give them the land again. This whole exercise that the government is doing, they're doing it because of two reasons. One, they had promised their campaign generals the land where we are occupying. And we had gone and possessed the land. And their generals came to some persons who were there and told them that Vaughan Miller and the PLP promised them this land. Promised them this land. And that they had to move. In other words, I was a threat. We in power, y'all get up this land. We promised this land. They're not saying they had any right to it or claim to it or they had actually applied for it. They would just made a promise, see all the land over there, campaign for me, y'all get that. So Wayne Munroe's generals, Vaughan Miller generals particularly. All right? And so we got in their way. There was deals as land was cleared, Haitians would grab trees, etc. And they would make their call, money would be made, everyone was cool. This whole thing is gonna happen, it's gonna be, we just be quiet. When the PLP generals came and threatened some of those people, that's when they called me and brought me in the box because they felt like the government was gonna go after them. Some of them were PLPs. But they felt that the government was going to go after them because these generals came making threats. And they said, Lincoln, we want you in the back here because we know if you're in the back here, you will stand up for us. And I said, no, we got to open this up to more Bahamians, give them an opportunity. And that's what we did. All right? And so some people say, y'all should have gone in there and just be quiet. It didn't matter. Those PLP generals are the ones who started making noise. We were there for a very long time before anyone knew what was happening in the back there. We didn't make this public. But when Demetrius, the campaign general of Vaughan Miller, went and put the video out there to bring to everyone's attention that we were there, etc., that's when we couldn't hide anymore. We had to show what was going on and keep it in the public eye so the public would be able to see what was happening. All right, so that they couldn't try their tricks because the Bahamian public would see all of their evil works in their darkness. And that's why we had to start talking. We didn't start out talking about this. The PLP general went and started exposing, then going on WhatsApp and making noise, and then going to Miller and then again promises of moving us. And all of this was a bipartisan effort to remove us because we don't belong to their party. The next part of it was the Haitians who were in the back, they're also occupying, and been occupying with them for a little while, were burning down trees, and they had this system that was going on for a long time, and we got in the way. We started stopping them. We started outing their fires, etc. You saw the videos. And eventually they went to put up a gate to block us from getting in the back there. Wow. Bahamians. The Haitians were putting up a gate to block Bahamians. And we stopped them. And all of a sudden, the government attacked. And they started their attacks from there because we're getting in the way of their corruption. This is corruption. This is all corruption. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got 4 good days. 4 good days before the revolution begins. On Friday, we invite you all to be there from Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll be there earlier, but we invite you to be there from Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning. We invite the media to come out. And we're going to possess our land. We're going to be right there by Bacardi Park. We're going to be on Bacardi Park. And we're going to speak out for Bahamians. This isn't about getting land, you know. This is a civil rights movement. I'm sitting on that land the same way Martin Luther King sat on those stools at the counter in those restaurants that we couldn't eat in. That everyone was allowed to eat in except the black people, except us. Everyone in this country is getting crown land except us. They're just sitting on it. They have this old trick. You come, you stay there, you live there. You let your children grow up, let them apply, and you're just going to get it. Everyone is getting except us. And so we're going to sit on this land. We do not espouse lawlessness. But when the law is lawless, the people must react. The law is lawless. Corruption abounds in this nation. And so we're going to sit on this land because what we actually want is a regulated process to getting crown land for Bahamians. We don't want people to just come sit on the land and squat and just take whatever. We don't. But if that is how it's being done, that's how it's been done, Why are you going to stop us now? Because we're there. And we're not a political crony. We want an act that deals with Crown land. There is no act that deals with Crown land. There is no law. What is this law y'all keep talking about? There is no law as it relates to Crown land. Every other country has it. A law with regulations and a process for application that goes to a committee or a board that grants your Crown land. Just like getting a business license, you don't have to go to the Prime Minister to get your business license. In no other country that has Crown land, you have to go through the Prime Minister to get Crown land. There's a committee that deals with that. But because of corruption and the power that land wields, watch this carefully. Money is power. That's why the Prime Minister always tries to be the Minister of Finance. Land is power. That's why the Prime Minister always tries to be in charge of the Crown land. Because by giving you Crown land, they empower you. And so he's trying to keep that power in his hands. Now they're talking about carbon credits. I read the law that they're trying to pass on carbon credits. It is absolute garbage. But everything in that says everything has to go to the Prime Minister. Anyone who wants to deal with carbon credits got to go to the Prime Minister. Any deal the Bahamas makes with anyone else got to go to the Prime Minister. Everything, and it says Prime Minister. Other acts would say the Minister, right? Which means any minister can get a portfolio. Their little act that they want to bring, everything says the Prime Minister. Because they just don't want to empower us. When are we going to wake up as a people? It's time for us to rise up. We're asking you to just show your bodies. Come there and stand with us. We're going to speak. We're going to hang out. We're going to sit at our tables and play cards and play dominoes and hang out for a while. We're going to eat. We're going to eat some good sauce. We're going to eat breakfast and lunch. And we're going to hang out on our land. And we're going to address the Bahamian people. And we're going to start a revolution to change this country. So the Bahamians are not disadvantaged anymore. How did you let thousands of acres go to illegal immigrants? And Bahamians, you are keeping your foot on our necks. You are calling us criminals. This cannot be allowed to continue in our country. Something else I wanted to show you. You'd remember, I'm going to play a little video clip for you quickly. But you'll remember there's a specific shanty town that they say is owned by the brother of the Minister of Immigration. So we have the list of the Crown grants from 1950 to 2009. They started sharing around already. All right, we have this list, and so we're going to show you something on that list. And it's so crazy that every time a government is in power, you start to see people associated with them getting ground land. If you look carefully at that list, it's entertaining. All right, but this Kent Johnson is his name. He's the brother of Ellsworth Johnson. All right, he's the brother of Ellsworth Johnson. And Kent Johnson, let me make sure I pull this up. Kent Johnson is, maybe I already have it up. Yeah, Kent Johnson is the brother of Ellsworth Johnson, and he has some Crown land there. And Haitians are living there. And the Haitians admitted that he was doing that. Remember, his brother was Minister of Immigration and did nothing. You see how deep this corruption goes? You see how deep this is? Listen to what this Haitian man says, and then I'm going to show you some stuff.
Boss man, everyone in here pays rent? People in here pay rent?
No, they don't pay no rent.
So how does it work here? You pay rent for the land? He says no. In this one.
No, we don't pay.
So how do? You just come and you build?
Yeah. We talk to man who say he's the owner.
Right, you talk to the owner.
You talk to the owner. After we talk to the owner, we talk to him. He say okay, so you could build a little piece. so you could live with your family, but we don't pay no much.
Right.
We don't pay no much.
So who say this the owner?
The man who owner is a Ken Johnson. He left across the road.
Oh, Ken Johnson.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's the Minister of Immigration. That's his brother.
White.
Yes. So Ellsworth Johnson brother. Oh, so he comes here, but they tell me he's collect rent from some of y'all.
I know about them.
All right. So whoever say he just collect rent, he ain't collecting rent. He just letting y'all live here.
White. He ain't collect no rent. He ain't collect no rent.
Okay.
Because along I been here, he ain't never come to me.
Right.
Tell him, oh, I must pay for it. He ain't tell me that. Long I build this police officer, he ain't never tell me that.
But that's where Johnson live right here. That's right across the road.
Right across the road.
Yeah, that's where live right across the road.
Yeah, and his brother too.
Yeah, and his brother Ken.
Behind his house.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
His brother living right behind him. Yeah, so one question I'm gonna have to say, you say the people who illegally, so you have to document them to send them back. So about said, who would they get the document? So what they could do?
The ones who have documents. The ones who have documents will get jobs. All right, but if you are undocumented, Haitian, Jamaican, Chinese, American, if you're undocumented, you go home.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what you just heard was I actually went to the Asian village, and this is when we told him of our plans and what we're going to do and how we're going to deal with it. We're going to deal with this strictly to make sure that we have Asians move into proper apartments, etc., and what our plans were. And all of them agreed to what we said we were going to do. They had no problem with it. All right, but he revealed that there's a man called Ken Johnson, the brother of Ellsworth Johnson, who lived right across the road. You heard him say Ken Johnson lived right across the road. Ellsworth lived right across the road from their shanty town. And you heard the confusion about rent, because some people were saying that they paid rent to Ken Johnson, some people were saying they didn't. All right, and so that's why you heard him say, well, he ain't never paid no rent to Ken Johnson. Now, let me show you something. We have the list of persons. We have the list of persons who get this up here. Persons who got Crown land since 2000. And since 1950 to 2009. And in book A9, 50, 100631, you will see this particular person on page 529 and 530. Kent Troy Johnson, he got some land over there. And it says that he's a carpenter. It says he's a carpenter. And let me scroll over, sorry. He got this on Carpenter Road / Golden Isles Road. And it shows when he got it, July 21st, 2008. And it shows how much square foot he got. All right, he got 34,000 square foot. So an acre is a little over 40,000 square foot. So he got less than an acre. He got less than an acre. So he got 34,476 square foot. So he got less than an acre there. All right, and that's what he got. And so now Haitians are living on that. But let me show you the reality of the situation. It is very, very interesting, and this is what really happens. And we don't tend to pay much attention to this. So you can see he got less than an acre. But I'm going to show you something very interesting. So we pull this down and just pull it up so you can draw something on there so you can see the actual thing. All right. So here, let me make it smaller so you can see it. So this is where his crown land is, right? Oh man, that's too small. I'm gonna just pull it up on Google Earth. Let me just minimize this. I'm gonna pull it up on Google Earth so you can see the whole thing. me pull that up for you. Give me one sec. And this is the trick. They keep playing these tricks on us, man. I'm so tired of these tricks, man. All right, I'm gonna pull this up on Google Earth for you so you can see it. Just give me a sec. There we go. You can see it much better now, right? So right here is the land that they're talking about, all right? This is where the corner where the Haitian flea market is this corner right here. That's where the Haitian flea market is, all right? And right here is Ellsworth Johnson House, and right behind him is Ken, his brother, all right? So there's Ellsworth Johnson and Ken right there, all right? And here in the yellow is the land that is the shanty town. And so you can see all of this is the shanty town area. This whole area right here is shanty town. All of this. All right? All this in yellow. Now, he got less than an acre granted to him. But on this shanty town, the yellow, as you can see, this is over 5 acres. Look at that. So he got less than an acre, which is right here, which is right across from where they live. He got less than an acre right here. And so maybe he rented to these persons. But the other Haitians just came and started building and living. And that's why they don't pay rent to him. Once you rent to a couple, then the rest come in and just squat and take the place. Take our land. Because payments be too soft. And guess what? I was told that Ken has been trying to get them off his land for a very long time to no avail. And he's been trying everything in his world, and no one would help him and no one would assist him to get these people off his land. He let a couple of them go there, and as soon as he let a couple come, all the swarm. You heard my last live where I showed the interview of the person in Abaco that got the crown land. He didn't even get it. He was just possessing it just like us. And he let a couple of nations come there. He rented to them. And then all the rest of them just swarmed. And so this is what the Ministry of National Security should be focused on. But guess what they're focused on? Lincoln Bean. This is what Brave Davis should be focused on. But guess what he's focused on? Lincoln Bean. They're having meetings on a daily basis to see how they can destroy me. Instead of you directing your forces at solving the crime problem in this country, you are directing your forces at Lincoln Bean. Look at this. He allegedly let a couple of people in here, and they built all of this. So they spread all around here. And the place is filthy. And they set up a whole flea market here. The flea market open today. You go there now. There's crunk. This is the outdoor flea market. And the indoor flea market we told you all about, that's open today. That's crunk right now. Chicken fight going to bed. Right now as we speak. But guess where the military come in? For Bahamians. This is disgraceful. This is disgraceful. And so with all their threats, they saying Bahamians must stand down on our land while these people raping acres and acres of our land. There are so many shanty towns around here. You see the shanty town? This one shanty town here. See right across the road is another shanty town right here. And there's another shanty town right here. Look at that. That's disgusting. Look at that. Look. The place is swarming. I mean, shanty towns everywhere on the south side of Carmichael Road, Cowpen Road, the north side of Cowpen Road. Look at this. And guess what? The Minister of Immigration lived right here. The modern Pigeon P was across the street from the Immigration Department in Abaco. Bahamas, y'all wake up yet? When are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up? It's embarrassing to be a Bahamian. The only people in our country with no rights. With no rights. With no rights. Look at our land. Look at our land. And the government lies and makes excuses at every turn instead of addressing the issue. They attack Bahamians at every turn. Who's going to stand with us as we stand for our nation? Who's going to stand with us? Cowpen Road is gone. The objective of the minister is to remove us Bahamians because we're getting in the way of them burning. They're going to put some defense force officers in the area just to say they're doing something. Harass us, try to make us feel like we don't want to be there. I hope that some of the people say, oh, we gone, we don't want to be, we ain't coming here to go through all this because they know Bahamians soft. And then once they get rid of us, go back to business as usual. This is the doings of Philip Brave Davis, no one else. This is what he has decided to do to the Bahamian people. Someone says, Keith Bell is inept. I am told that immigration forms are being given out at Keith Bell's office. There's a free-for-all right now. No one in government is dealing with the immigration crisis. No one is dealing with the crime crisis. No one. Ladies and gentlemen, crime in this country is so easy to solve. One, hang the murderers because the murderers don't want to die. Hang the murderers because the murderers don't want to die. All the Privy Council said was that we needed to find the worst of the worst in our law. None of them want to do it, and they're using the Privy Council as an excuse. All we have to do is change the law to define what the worst of the worst is and says, if anyone does this and that, that's considered the worst of the worst, and you will be hanged. Or define who must be hanged. That's all they said, but they don't want to do it. We need to have a court that specializes in murder so that we don't have any long trials where they say you've taken over 5 years and it's inhumane to hang them after keeping them waiting for so long. We need to launch special units for specific crimes. Home invasion unit that specifies that they learn that everything they do is about that. These officers know what's going on as it relates to home invasion. They know who all the players are. They can focus on that. They know that like the back of their hand. Rape unit. People getting dragged into the bushes, set them up. You get a policewoman, you get out there jogging, and you watch in the distance and wait for someone to try to deal with that, and you lock them up. So you catch them, you bait them. You have special rape units where we can have our own DNA system that we can deal with DNA processing. We're not going to lock up or hang anyone based on you say, I say anymore. Gossip. They investigate with gossip. No, we're going to have real forensics. Gang units. We know who all the players are. They know who all the players are. They put out videos. They could tell you who everyone is and who all the chain is. So if you know that these two warring, these are the hitmen. So if this person died, this person is suspected, his boys are going to go after this person. And these are the hitmen who work for them. So these are the persons who are going to go after him. You know beforehand what's going to happen. So you deal with it. If someone is a drug dealer, you watch them. You catch them doing the drugs. That's what they do in the US. That's how they catch 90, how they catch anyone else. If you know someone is a criminal, he's a drug dealer, then you observe him, because one thing he has to do is go and do crimes. You don't watch neighbors and say, oh, we're going to put more patrols out there. Patrols will not stop murders. Penalties and making sure people can't get away will. Don't target neighborhoods. Target the criminals. Observe them, monitor them, and get them before they get us. Have police officers in every neighborhood, in their cars, 1 to a car, so it can spread out and have more. You don't need 2 in a car. All organic neighborhoods have just a few ways out, mostly a front way and a back way. There's just a few ways out of Pinewood, a few ways out of Elizabeth Estate, a few ways out of South Beach. It's organic. Make sure you have police in those areas. You have CCTV. Why are you making sure these CCTVs ain't working properly? That's conspiracy to me. Really get the drones this time. The top shotter, the shot spotter. When the gun goes off, the drone immediately targets that, and they can't get away. Criminals want to get away. You know, in the States, when the eye in the sky or the helicopter comes, that's it. You ain't getting away no more. We have drones to do that now. Gun goes off, shot spotter identifies it, the drone comes, no one gets away. They can monitor along with the CCTV. Criminals want to get away. We can end crime, and the biggest way we're going to end crime is by ending poverty. Ending poverty. Expound on that in a minute. We have to stop the guns from coming in. They're coming in on Haitian sloops and on yachts from the US. Haitian sloops and yachts from the US. There needs to be a proper process of monitoring the guns that come in from the US. And we deal with the Haitian sloops. Get rid of shanty towns so they don't have this unregulated community the police don't patrol, where they can just keep all the guns and drugs they want. Let's end poverty in this country. The Bahamas is a very rich nation with lots of natural resources. No Bahamian has to be poor. Many people commit crimes because that's their circumstance. We can fix this. There's no crime in Dubai. There's no crime in Qatar. Our government is going there and observing them now because they heard me doing this. They're following everything we did. The playbook that the PLP is running from is directly from us. But we want them to observe the part of Dubai where they empower their citizens. The part of Qatar where they empower their citizens is billions of dollars being made from our natural resources. Let's fix it. And so I want to stop there for the day. And I want to answer a couple of your questions. Let's answer some of your questions. You might have questions on the immigration, on the court case. I want you to be with us. Come and stand with us. Take that day off. Call in sick if you have to. Take that day off. Tell your boss you ain't coming to work. That's a holiday. July 1st, Friday, that's a holiday. We are officially declaring July 1st as Take Back the Bahamas Day. It is now an official day. We are going to possess our land. And we want you to stand with us and let the government hear how you feel about them attacking Bahamians and trying to find every excuse. Oh, you can't just go and take it. When did it start? Now you can't just go and take it? Now? What's the process? Like Fred Smith says, what law are you referring to? Fred Smith also said in this document, the government need to show their title. Don't just come and say this is your land you possess. Come show your title. Wayne, when you come, bring your title papers, eh? Not possessory title. Hoot title. Wayne knows what I just said. All right. So let me see some of your questions or statements. I'll touch on them in a minute before I go. What with the drones? Why aren't they being used? Man, that drone, that was a robbery. It wasn't no drones. That was take $17 million from the Treasury. All right? Take our country back. Yes, that's what we're doing. We're taking our country back. Brave one time Davis. Brave Haitian Davis. That's what he is. Brave Haitian Davis. That's what you call him. Because that's not our words. Whose words is that? That's his words. Brave the Haitian Davis. Y'all don't refer to him as anything else but a Haitian. Brave, you are a Haitian. That's what you are. And you are only looking out for the Haitians. We need a prime minister who's going to look out for Bahamians.
Let me just say that I have always been a part of this community. And there's no accident I know how to do all the dancing. Because I always be and share with you. Because you are me and I am you. And I'll be here with you always. And those who knew me from the past and know me now, they always knew that I was there and always been there for you. I don't call you all are not Haitians, Bahamians. You are Bahamian, and your origin is Haitian. Mine too, and many of us. We have to stay apart for now so we can be together later. In on now.
Are you all ready and willing to go?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's your Haitian Prime Minister. And the reason we can say this is because we didn't have any problems with those individuals until, in the back there with the government, until we got in the way. Until we got in the way of what the Haitians were doing and what the PLPs were doing. But don't worry, everything is going to be all right. You're all going to be safe in this invasion, in this illegal invasion of our nation that they're ignoring. You're going to be safe because Philip Brave Davis says so.
Well, safety, you are safe because you will be engaging the tools that make yourself safe.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are under attack, and we have to save our nation. If anyone out there can't see what's going on, then there's nothing more for me to say. They're covering for them in every way. We take your questions. Let me take your questions and statements. So they're saying they're Bahamians but speaking Creole. That's a serious thing. God will fight for us. Let's continue to trust God. But he wants us to fight for ourselves. God didn't fight for David. He fought with David. He fought inside David. He was the power inside of David, but he needs us to act. I want to say this since you brought up God. When Moses got to the Red Sea, he did what many persons were taught to do, what all of religious people are taught to do. Stop and pray. He told his people that, we're stuck. The Red Sea in front of us, mountain on the right, mountain on the left, and Pharaoh behind coming. And so he talked to God. And he said, God, Red Sea, mountain, Pharaoh. All right? But before he talked to God, he actually told the people, be still. He said, the Egyptians you see today, you will see no more. Just sit right here and be still. God is going to fight our battles. That's what he said. And when he went and prayed to God, God said, why are you telling me this? The first time I read that, it blew my mind. I said, he did what he's supposed to do. He prayed. And God said, why are you telling me this? Red Sea, mountain, Pharaoh. God's response to Moses was, why are you telling me this? And then he said, don't tell my people to stop. Tell them to keep going. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Moses didn't know what he was talking about. He was like, keep going. I just told you Red Sea. God got angry with him and he went. And he said, Moses, what's on your hand? Stop. Put your hand over the water. Put his hand over the water and the Red Sea part. Wow. That means if he'd keep moving, the Red Sea would have parted. How do we know? Because Joshua had to go through the same thing. They had to cross over the Jordan River to get over the other side. And we are on the cusp of crossing over Jordan. But this time they learned from Moses' mistake and they just stepped in the water. And like a hotel door, you walk to it and you hope it's going to open, and last minute it just opens. And that's how you treat life. You just keep on moving. No matter what you see, no matter what is going all around you, no matter how much tanks and armors they bring, no matter how much machine guns they bring, no matter how many military men they put in front of you, you keep moving forward. We are going to possess our land. That is what the Haitians do. The illegal Haitians do. They take the land and dare the government to stop them. And no one dares stop them. And you are going to come at Bahamians. Bahamians, we are going to keep moving forward, upward, onward, together. And if we stand together, no one will be able to stop us. No crooked politician, no crooked police officer, no crooked military officers, no illegals from any other nation, no matter how much money they have. If we stand together, we are unstoppable. We are going to keep moving. And we are going to possess our land like they possessed the promised land. And yes, when they got over, they had to fight. And we may have to fight. But if you stand with me, I will fight. I will stand in front of you and take all the bullets. Just stand with me. We will stand up and we will fight. And they can bring all the military tanks out of Russia. They can bring all their Chinese artillery. But we will stand up and we will not be moved. This Thursday, this Friday, stand with us. 9 a.m. Meet us on McCarty Park by the Rat Bat. We'll be set up and we're going to enjoy our crown land. We're going to sit around and talk, and I'm going to speak to you. Others are going to speak to you. And we're going to let the government know. We're going to send the government a message from their employers that you're getting out of hand. And when employees get out of hand, it's time for them to get top up. We are not afraid of you. Lying mean you can bring all of your military force. We will not be moved. Haitian brave, you can bring all of your military force and all of the illegal immigrants with you, your people. We, the Bahamian people, will not be moved. Now, Bahamians, y'all could sit down and let this continue and pretend it ain't happening. And then 5 years from now, say, boy, we should have listened to Lincoln, or you can take a stand now. Join us on Friday. Don't go to work. Come join us. Yeah, call in sick. Call in sick. Don't go to work. Stand with us. Let's be there. We need hundreds of Bahamians out to let Wayne Munroe know he needs to stop lying. We need the media to know they need to stop lying. Stop repeating everything Wayne Munroe says to them without showing proof of it. And we need Brave Davis to know that he's not going to send Wayne to do his dirty work and then hide and pretend it isn't him. We'll let Chester Cooper know you're not going to just play quiet because this is a serious issue and you're going to play like you're in a part of it so that you could try to run for prime minister next and you wasn't the one dealing with it. No. You are there, Chester. You can speak up and speak out to your Bahamian people being treated like trash in this country. Those days are over. You're going to stand up. Send all your men to the forest and watch God. Send all your men to the forest and watch us. We ain't going nowhere. All right? So that's it. Don't see any questions. Yeah, these men are wicked. They're evil. They're lying at every turn. Every single minister of the government has been proven to lie in this whole thing. Every single one of them have been deceitful, twisting the truth, and outright lying in some instances. I just showed you, Wayne Munroe, Crown land that was granted to what's his name? Kent Johnson. But they came on his property, but then they rented the other Crown land all around him. They take over, that's what they keep doing. They keep spreading and spreading. And then you all make some lie up to say that, oh, you know, they had this Bahamians land and this and that. Well, fight for the Bahamians then. Johnson said he wanted them off his property. Go send the military there and take them off his property. Stop messing with Bahamians. Because they got to kill us. Because we ain't scared. And we know the truth. And so Wayne said they don't care what truth I put out there. Only probably, 10, 20,000 Bahamians go watch it. So it don't matter. Once it don't get on the news, they have us blocked off from the news. They say once it don't get on the news, it don't matter. Shanique Miller isn't allowed to bring me on with the show name, beyond the headlines. They're not allowed to bring me on any talk shows on Guardian Radio. They don't want the truth out there. But we can have our land. We can have our Bahamas. We're going to have our natural resources. Enough is enough. We can win this one for Bahamians. And we're going to have a government that only cares about empowering Bahamians. I want to thank all of you all for spending 2 hours on your Sunday with me. It has been a pleasure to have you. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. And don't forget to go to our GoFundMe page and be a part of it. Don't just talk. Don't just encourage me. You gotta work with us. You gotta help us get there. So go to our GoFundMe page and assist us. We see quite a few persons have gone there already. You can also go to coalitionofindependence.com and you can fund us there. You don't have to use GoFundMe. You can also pay with credit card right on our page. You can donate there. It's going to go to SunCash. And so we're looking forward to being able to do this. There's some lawsuits coming. There's lots of stuff coming. We're going to go after the government. We're not playing with them. Those persons who were falsely arrested, they're going to be rich. We're going to go after the money for them because their rights were violated. Other persons who were arrested falsely. Me, I was attacked by Defense Force officers. And so I'm going to deal with that. So what is Freeport doing on Friday in support of the rights of all of you? Well, we're going to talk to our Freeport crew and see if they want to organize something. Very good point. We can't leave Freeport out. We're going to talk to our Freeport crew and see what's happening down there. We got to stand up, man. Crown Land is on all of our islands. And not just that, natural resources are on all of our islands. Not just that, all of our islands are a natural resource. Go to our website, coalitionofindependence.com, or go to BahamianEvolution.com and spend the rest of the day watching our videos. Watch those documentaries, those powerful documentaries. There's one on land that shows you the truth about the billions of dollars they made in land. That's the second documentary, Land Pirates is what it's called. Go and watch that. Watch and see how they've raped and robbed us. Share it. Go and share the link on the page. All the documentaries are right there. Share it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lincoln Bain. I'm a runaway slave. I ain't never going back. Everything Harriet Tubman did was illegal, unlawful, out of order, and wrong, according to law. Everything Martin Luther King was illegal, out of order, and wrong, according to law. Everything Mahatma Gandhi did was illegal, out of order, and wrong, according to law. Everything Nelson Mandela Madiba did was wrong, out of order, illegal, and wrong according to law. But because they broke the law had to be fixed. Whenever the law is broken, you actually didn't break the law. You fix the law by showing it was broken, by breaking it. That one deep. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next time. I'm Lincoln Bain. I'm a runaway slave. Will you join me? Let's jump over that fence and get into that forest, and let's head north to a great place, to a brand new place, to a place where Bahamians run this town. I want to thank all of you who've been supporting us, all of you who have been there with us, all of you who show your love for us on a daily basis. We cannot do this without you. We are doing this for you. And we're sacrificing. Support us as we support all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm Lincoln Bain. And I'm a runaway slave. And I'm ready to take on massa like a modern day 2022 Django. We are going to break the back of corruption. We are going to empower our people. Because I got eyes in the back of my head. Just in case I gotta run. I do what I do when I can for my people. When the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's why I gotta stand up. Take my people with me. Together, we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. I can feel it in my bones. Made it 100 miles to freedom. Would you like to pick a new name to mark your freedom? We are right on the cusp of freedom in this country. Then gonna start moving towards that separating line. That's the horizon. I'm wading through muddy water. I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. I fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, Take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, you have freedom calling, calling me to answer, to keep on keeping on. Mary, welcome to the underground. Oh, what's around the bend might be hard to think alone, and that's just a fail. I just might fail, but Lord knows I tried. The sure stars fill up the sky. It's time to stand up, y'all. Take my people with me to a brand new home. Far across the river, you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. Keep on keeping on. Who's ready to stand up? I'm ready. Stand with us. Friday morning, 9 o'clock. We're going to be ready. Now we're going to stand up and we're going to show them that we are serious. This is not about any political party. This is about Bahamians standing up. I won't be in any political paraphernalia. I'm going to be there as a Bahamian who is tired and who won't take any more of this. Far across the river. And we're going to stand up until justice flows like a mighty river across this nation. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it. Place for you, I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go. Ladies and gentlemen,